Where am I? Okay. Hi. Welcome. Oh, Tentacola. Let me do the head pat redeem again. Thanks for the head pat. And hello, Cody. Hi, welcome. Let me just move around. Oh. Gonna move you guys. Yeah, there you go. I am doing good. How was your day? I hope work wasn't too stressful. Hello, Beck. Hi. Excuse me while I'm doing all the things that I should have done before hitting start stream. Just call all my things. Oh yes, also. Turn on the fishing. There you go. Not bad. Just a little stressful, but oh well, just took a shower and got relaxed. That's good. That's good. I think there was a flying text monster. Was there? Don't worry about it. Technical difficulties. Okay. There you go. And let me turn on. We're in a cave. Are we? That's crazy. I'd say we're in a delivery. Oh, there's an echo? Is there? Why would that be? Maybe that fixed it. I don't know. I'll need to figure out a different way for, let me see, is there an echo? There shouldn't be. Hell? That's strange. I need to think of like an external noise suppression thing, because the one built into OBS is not very good. Okay. Did I fix it? I hope I fixed it. No? That's strange. I'm not sure what it could be though. Wasn't like that at first. That's weird. If the desktop audio is gone. No. Yeah, let me listen to it on Twitch and myself and see. Oh, hello! Hello, radio! Thank you. Thank you for resubscribing. Welcome. Not sure, isn't much? Okay. That's very strange though. Baby co-sub. Oh yeah, 9 months. That's crazy. I don't know. Hopefully it'll just like it's one of those things that just fixes itself. Or wait. I changed the mic pickup pattern, so maybe that might fix it. Okay. Never have any idea where to put the... Not there. I'm really sorry, Cody, about the echo, though. I do feel really bad from like my shitty setup. Okay. Alright. Waking up in a cheap hotel in the city. Oh, it's better? Okay, good, good, good. Alright. Waking up in a cheap hotel in the city was by no means pleasant. I remembered even during the long camping trips we had during grade school, I wanted to get home quickly, counting the days left on my fingers. Waking up this morning I was somehow reminded of that. Was it a need to be with my wife when she gave birth? A particular type of homesickness? As a productive member of society, a public servant bound to fulfill his duties, it was pathetic indeed. Those negative emotions faded as I downed my breakfast, which was surprisingly not half bad. The meeting with the informant Oishi had provided would be tonight. Until then, I couldn't just be lazing around. The Onikafushi Guardians was protesting the dam's construction in various ways. Included in this was a strategy for improving public relations, which could be categorized in two major forms: combative and peaceful. Hey, Ko, lurking at the moment. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing great, Jay. We're having a good time. I was actually quite excited to stream today. Divine's Phoenix. Thank you for becoming a pack rabbit. Welcome in. In regards to the former, as an attempt to keep law enforcement in check, they appealed to the public's sympathy by highlighting the oppressive and inhumane tactics of the police and the brutality of the squad riots. The latter peaceful route stretched how precious the natural surroundings of Hinamizawa was, seeking people who would oppose the dam on environmental grounds. As a part of that, the village of Hinamizawa had invited celebrated zoologists and botanists, as well as environmental groups, to advertise the nature surrounding the town. According to the news, in recent years there had been a group calling itself Hinamizawa Nature Watching, setting up free sightseeing tours. I would have liked to have taken advantage of the opportunity, but when I called the village administrative offices, they said it was too late to apply for the tour, and they were still undecided as to when they'd be doing another one. I see. So there's no applications for next time. Too bad. Are you a member of an environmental group? Or maybe somebody from a magazine? No, just here privately. Privately? Then you're a tourist? Something like that. It's my hobby to take pictures that display how beautiful nature can be. Yes? I forgot to put my phone on silent. Something like that. It's my hobby to take pictures and display how beautiful nature can be. I read in a magazine that there are some precious nature reserves here, so I was looking forward to it. I knew there was an article that had something like that written on it, but I hadn't actually read it. Was this ad-lib fly not going to work? Hello, Arlie, welcome in. Hope you're having a good night. However, contrary to my expectations, the person I was speaking to laughed happily. Then come. The village is a little busy right now, but you're totally welcome here. Oh no, it seems... I don't know, it seems a little suspicious. In that case, I'll graciously accept the offer. Thank you. How are you getting around? Car? If that's the case, could I ask you for your license plate number? No, there's no ulterior motive behind that. It was probably related to the checkpoints they'd set up on the way to the village. If I didn't give them my license plate number, I'd most likely be hindered in various ways. I thought about using the car I'd borrowed from the prefecture, but I was lost on whether it was okay to tell them that plate number. If the Onikafuchi Guardians were behind this incident, there's no guarantee that they wouldn't be able to find out who I was. I had to play it safe, so I elected to refrain from using the car. No, actually I'm not using a car. If there's a bus or something, I'd prefer that. We do have a bus, actually. The route is going to be discontinued, though. You can take that. It departs from Okinomiya Station. Thank you very much. I'll look out for it. When will you be coming? Is it your first time in Hinamizawa? If it is, you must be unsure about a lot of things. If you let me know, I can have somebody show you around. Oh, no, I couldn't ask you. I couldn't ask that much of you. Potato or rice? I like both, but if I had to pick one or the other, I guess I would pick... Potatoes are very versatile, aren't they? You can make all kinds of things with potatoes. Yeah, I guess I would pick potatoes, yeah. Over rice. Although, why not both? Also welcome in. Good night. No. Oh no, I couldn't ask that much of you. Don't worry about it. It's just... that's just a bit of PR we do. Protect the nature around the village. Judging by what I saw at the checkpoint, the villagers were at the very least wary of outsiders. That's why in order to move in and out of the village freely, I had to travel with somebody like Oishi, or side of the dam protests. Having an interest in the natural environment surrounding the village tied into the peaceful type of PR that the village was using. I was a bit against having a watchdog attached to me, but that might actually work out in my favor. The entire village was fired up. I was fired up about the dam protest, so I might be lucky enough to hear some actually candid opinions from the residents. Given that, there is no real reason for me to refuse their offer. Is that really alright? If so, that'll really help. After that, I was shown the bus schedule and directed to which bus I should get on. Somebody should come and meet me at the bus stop in the village. After showing me around a spot I take interest in, there's no doubt they'd bring me somewhere like a anti-dam information center. Then, over a cup of tea, they tried to indoctrinate me into accepting their principles and beliefs. Thank you for that. Thank you. Well, if that was their aim, there'd be a lot of freebies involved. The world was about give and take after all. No need to take, it's my obligation. That is true, it is a tax. No, that's true. The IRS doesn't thank you for paying your taxes, right? You pay your taxes and they're like, yeah, okay, until next tax season. So, I appreciate thank you for paying your taxes. I feel like I have to thank you since Teddy's always... He's probably watching this, he knows what he's doing. I couldn't be going in a suit. I pulled some plain clothes out of my travel case and changed into something more casual. He hasn't manifested. He's probably lurking. He'll come around eventually. After that, either that or he has me in the background while he's gaming or something. After calming down by watching some local television, I left the hotel and set out for Okinomiya Station. The bus route I was told would soon be discontinued certainly didn't look that way. There was more than enough trips on the schedule, and the number of passengers was by no means sparse. It was the main link to Okinomiya, the only town in the area. The types of passengers that stood out were older folks who didn't look like they could drive, and housewives who didn't seem like they had a license. If the area was submerged at the bottom of the lake, it wouldn't matter if there was a bus route. That's why it was going to be discontinued, in the unnatural scheme of things. I could catch a glimpse of the government's intent in cutting off their means of transportation to bully the village into emptying out sooner. It makes sense, according to the documents. Talks between the Ministry of Construction and the locals broke down quite early. The government decided from the start to take an aggressive stance on the matter. I'm gonna move you guys over here so I can read the game and read you. It was like the fairy tale with the north wind and the sun trying to get the traveler to remove his cloak. Even their bullying had meaning to it. The reason why the Onigafuchi's guardians resisted so violently was because the government was doing unseemly things like that. I was somebody who lived in Tokyo, so for a village or two out in the boonies like this to be submerged, it didn't seem like a big deal. But I guess for somebody actually living here, it would be a vitally huge problem. This route will be discontinued at the end of this financial year. Thank you for your patronage up to this point. We look forward to your continued patronage on our other lines. Okinomiya Transportation. Gazing lazily at the notice of discontinued service posted inside the bus, I counted down the number of stops until the designated one. Along the way, we passed through the checkpoint before without even stopping. They knew what time the bus was coming, so they had opened up the barricade ahead of time. From here on out was enemy territory. My palms at some point had become coated in a thin film of sweat. Now arriving at Ukita Waterworks. Are there any passengers disembarking? I hurriedly pressed the stop request button as the designated stop was announced. For none of the numerous passengers to be getting off here meant that it must be quite a remote place. In actuality, the stop I got off was so abnormally run down that I could tell it was barely used. As soon as I stepped out, an intense atmosphere completely different than the interior of the bus assailed my body. Right now, Oishi or Hundia weren't beside me. That's right, at present, I was alone in the middle of enemy territory. My adversaries probably thought I was just an ordinary tourist. But that was nothing more than a ruse. But if by some mistake my true identity was to be exposed, it brought back the terrifying words I had heard at the prefectural office, that if somebody was attacked in Hinamizawa with a knife, there wouldn't be any evidence left behind. I didn't seem suspicious, did I? My clothing was completely casual. It was exactly the kind of clothing that a city slicker that viewed the countryside as a wholesome getaway would wear. A camera and a knapsack. Inside were various things needed for hiking. It was still only June, and maybe it was unusual, but the sun was shining down like it was already the middle of summer. The fact that I didn't bring a hat must seem odd. No, it wasn't something to be that concerned about. It's alright. I was just a normal tourist. Just normal. Was there anything suspicious about me? Asking that as I turned around to look at the bus that was departing. Yes, you're sus. No, I would never. I would never be sus. All the passengers by the window were staring at me silently. Oh. They were staring right at me, as if they had seen right through my proud little outfit, just staring down at me. Oh, I guess maybe I am sus. They saw me vent. Countless stares rained down like needles on me when the windows opened to the air out the bus. All that rained down were stares. None of them were saying a word. But all the more, their silent stares told me more than a million words could. Hurry up and go back to Tokyo, you outsider. No, There was no reason for me to speak. My quiet voice was drowned out by the sound of the engine. The bus, as if to torment me, set out slowly, and after doing more than enough to intimidate me, sped off. We might be cooked. We might be cooked, just a little bit. A thin film of sweat began to rise from my entire body. According to the documents, it was a village that seemed wary of outsiders. Wary seems like an understatement. Its population was small as well. If they saw an unfamiliar face, they'd be quick to identify that face as an outsider. On top of that, nobody else had gotten off at the stop. It was a bus stop that they had normally just passed on by. Somebody actually getting off there. There's no doubt that it had drawn some attention. But this wasn't a slip-up. They were the ones who directed me to get off at this stop. There's nothing to worry about. I knew that I was just nervous, since this was my first undercover assignment. My more seasoned colleagues refer to this as the new generation that didn't know how to lose their cool, but that wasn't true at all. In order to calm my breathing down, I exhaled the unpleasant air residing in the pit of my stomach. I couldn't help but pray that my apprehensions would disappear like the white clouds of exhaust expelled from the bus. There was a small shed here to serve as a shelter if it rained, and that's where I decided to wait. Inside the shed, one wall was plastered with posters advertising the dam opposition efforts. It was like the heartfelt screams of the villagers were recorded on that wall. Inside that shelter, I felt an inexplicable pressure. It wasn't like I had any real relation to the dam project, but it still made me feel hesitant about being inside there. That was just how filled with... Oh my gosh! Oh! Lucy, thank you! Thank you so much for the raid! Ah! Hang on, let me give you a shout out. Hi, welcome. Oh, and Momo is here too. Hi. Hi, welcome. How are you? How was your stream? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the follows. Welcome in. No. Did not work. Did I not do it right? I did not do it right. Whoopsies. But hi. Hello everybody. Welcome, Raiders. I hope you had a great stream. Trying to give you a shout out, and I'm so bad at Twitch. But anyway, welcome, Raiders. I hope you guys had a great stream. Did I do it right this time? Hope you had a great stream. There we go. Hi. Yes, it is a bunny. Hi. Yeah, I'm Kualomai. I'm a VTuber, ASMR artist. I'm currently working on like a rebrand, situation type deal, but yeah. Welcome. If you guys have to raid and run, that's fine. I get it. Lucy, I hope you had a great stream. And yeah, and we're currently doing we're currently reading Higurashi, so if you guys wanna, you know, relax and listen. Am I a supernova? So I'm the hottest thing in the universe? Yeah, I knew. Yeah, I am. I've been known that. But yeah, if you wanna relax. Hope that wasn't too loud. But yes, I hope you guys had a good stream, and I hope you guys can sit down and I can help you relax, perhaps fall asleep. Yes, I. That was a very messy introduction, but you know, what does Drugstore Cowboy? Hi. Yeah, very messy introduction, but I'm quite a scatterbrained bunny, so get used to that. I don't like math actually. Numbers make my brain hurt. They make my brain sad. You know, numbers don't even. Is this the third time today that you tried to say that and someone said that they don't like math? I'm sorry, numbers don't tell you anything about the nature of your soul. I just find it I just can't like them. I'm sorry. Okay. Your voice. Math is fun though. I can't. I mean, it can be fun, like if you know what you're doing. And you're like, oh, I figured it out. But like, if you don't know, I'm like, don't. You stepped on your. Oh, actually sounds painful. Okay. Alright. Alright. And inside that uneasy space was a girl. Oh, it's Rika. Inside that shed covered in words written in broad brushstrokes, berating the policies regarding the dam and calling for action, there was a girl sitting there with a drowsy gaze, still half asleep, as if half asleep. The two images clashed so much that it could only stand there dumbfounded for a moment. I'm glad you're alive. You don't mind if I lurk? Can you be a white noise machine? That's my job. That's my job. I'm happy to be your white noise. Dumbfounded for a moment, trapped in such a surreal environment. If I stepped inside, who knew what kind of, oafish stories I could accidentally make? It couldn't be disturbing. It couldn't be disturbing this girl's slumber, but I couldn't be disturbing this girl's slumber like that. Good night, cowboy. Thanks for stopping by. Sweet dreams. Mwah. Having thought this, I gave up on entering the shed. It was just a sleeping kid, so why was I so worked up about it? Finally, I realized this girl, to us as a married couple, was the very image of our ideal child. Even after numerous examinations at the hospital, we didn't know for sure what our child's gender was. Whether we could tell if they were a boy or a girl in the end, depended on whether or not we could get an image of their genitalia. There was, of course, no guarantee that it was a girl, but with things the way they were, the possibility was high. Even so, Yuki had been saying that the chances it was a boy or girl were even. But in my heart, I had already decided that our coming child was a girl. Since the day I decided that until now, it was so fun to imagine how our child would grow up that I couldn't help myself. Amongst these numerous imagined forms, the one that I thought to be the most ideal had materialized right in front of me. Of course, a little of it was due to the circumstances. In my ideal image, her hair would be on the short side. The girl in front of me, though, had long hair. It's almost as if somebody had taken my ideal and made some small adjustments. It certainly wasn't something unpleasant. Even so, I felt like I was sullying her just by looking at her like that. She had an immaculate, no, divine air about her. Well, she is a shrine maiden. She is a shrine maiden, so that makes sense. That girl with an angelic smile with a yawn wide enough you could see her molars woke up all of a sudden. I didn't mean to peep, but locking my eyes with the girl who had just been woken up like this somehow made me feel like I was playing a prank on her. I wasn't doing anything shady, but I became flustered. The girl spoke. No? Cried out. Meep. Meep? Like that character on the show with the puppets? With Yorn's hair? I thought I was just one of those greetings kids do. So in order to prove I wasn't a suspicious person, I responded in kind. Meep. Meep? Meep. The girl stared at me dubiously with a doll-like expression, cute, but cold and hard to read. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. There was, after all, an unfamiliar man in front of her when she woke up, who responded with meep when she said the same. Suspicious. She definitely thought I was suspicious. Meep. Maybe you should try saying something other than meep. We were both at a loss for words. No, the only one lost was me. Yeah. Should we add a meep redeem? We could add a meep. We should add a meep redeem. Yeah. The girl in front of me, as if inquiring my motives, stared at me intensely. In this silence, I felt like I was the one who had to say something first. Damn it, this girl was way better at interrogating someone than Oishi. She's not even saying anything. That's exactly what a suspicious person would say, just saying. I'm not suspicious. Yeah, sure. Sure, Jan. I'm not anybody suspicious. I'm, Nipa. Oh yeah, that's her other catchphrase. Nipa? Nipa. I could have only described as a cold what I could have only described as a cold expression blossomed into a smile, one that soon infected me. You might be familiar with the term angelic smile. To me, it was like that phrase was created just to describe the smile she gave me. The girl smiling while saying Nipa probably wanted me to return the favor in kind. That's right. This was a kid's form of communication. No, that's just her. That's just how she just does that. Having the other person emulate what you just did was a rudimentary form of mutual understanding. Nipa. Nipa. It was a beautiful afternoon in the early summer. What was I doing? Nipa. Nipa. Well, whatever. This was interesting in its own way. If making somebody happy with just a smile was the work of angels. Yeah, she does say it in the anime. I think she says Nipa more than she says Meep in the anime though. And this girl was definitely one of them. I couldn't help but pray that my own child, who was soon to be born, would grow up to be like this girl. His child is gonna die, isn't she? I'm sorry. I don't want me to be morbid, but I feel like they're leading up to something bad happening to his wife and to his child. I just it feels like it. I just have a feeling that something bad's gonna happen to both of them. I'm sorry. It just feels like that. I don't know. They're mentioning them too much. He seems too happy. Like, That strangely gentle moment was finally brought to the end by the arrival of a car. Alright, I'm gonna butcher this name. Volchita. Thanks for becoming a pack rabbit. An older person waved at me from the driver's seat. A dry smile plastered on their face. Think I'm cool? Thank you. And thank you for the first time chat. Hi there. Good afternoon. Sorry for being late. You're the tourist you phoned yesterday, right? Yes. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm running a little behind because of the farm. Hop right on in. It looks like the weather isn't going to hold up for much longer, so I'll show you around real quick. Huh? The weather? It changes fast around here. There'll probably be evening showers again today. If that happens, you won't be able to take any pictures. Come on, get in. Meep. Turning around, the girl was standing right behind me with an intrigued expression. Her body language somehow reminded me of a... D Butcher, thank you for becoming a pack rabbit. Oh my gosh, we hit 750 followers. Oh, thank you. We're almost to my goal for this year. Also, War Boss. Thank you for becoming a pack rabbit. Welcome. Her body language somehow reminded me of a stray cat that followed you around after you played with it a little. So charming. Well, if it isn't Rika-chana. Praise be. Nipa. A girl named Rika with an immaculate smile, and an old man praising her while rubbing prayer beads in his hands. It was a rather mysterious sight to behold. So the girl turns on her face. Nipa, we all say in unison. Yes. I feel like if Rika wanted to start a cult, she absolutely could. And everybody would just do what she says because she's so cute. So the girl turns her face with time. Greetings from the United Kingdom. Hope you're doing well. Hello. Hi. I'm doing well. I'm doing good. Hi. I hope it's daytime over there. So I hope you're having a good day. Yeah. She absolutely could. So the girl turns her face at me, tilting her head a little in a cutesy manner. After seeing that, the elder introduces me as a tourist who came to sightsee Hinamizawa. It's 5:53. So, you're either up late or you're up early. Depending. Which is it? A youngin who came to the village for sightseeing. The girl Rika-chan said that with a smile as she clung onto my arm. Early, okay. Oh, I hope I can help you relax and start your day off. Nice. Well, yeah. I heard that this village is surrounded by a precious nature reserve, so I very much wanted to record that with my camera. Even though I look like this, I really like to take pictures. Tomitake Mark II. Huh? Tomitake? Huh? Makino. Is it okay if I come along too? I couldn't. You could come along, Rika-chama. But there's nothing interesting to see. You should go play near the shrine or something. I mean, I would argue that there's nothing interesting to see at the shrine either. Meep. Sad meep. A distinctly displeased expression spread across Rika-chan's face. Being able to show one's emotions honestly on their faces is a privilege what young children had. If it's not too much of a problem, could you bring this child along with us? Oh yes, it is. Your model and concept behind it is very beautiful. Dragon Bunny, very. Yeah. I mean, might as well. This is like the concept for what my eventual like live 2D model will be. Yes. I love this design so much. I love showing it off. It's so pretty. One day. Yes. And I do hope to integrate the dream carrier like branding and aesthetic into the channel more over time. Yeah, we're in a transitional phase at the moment. So not necessarily rebranding, we're just like actually having a brand. Because when I started there wasn't really much to it. I was just I'm Bunny and that was it. So I wanted to like actually have like lore and a concept. And I wanted to like incorporate the lore and everything into the channel. Yes. Need pretty. I guess it comes out the way you want to be. I only finished lore for my character. I mean, yeah, I think it is. Radiant. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Sorry. Setting up some stuff. Anyway. Thank you a lot. If it's not too much of a problem, could you bring this child along with us? Yeah. When I said those helpful words, another smile spread across Rika-chan's face. With another nipa, she clung to me again. Not bad at all. I want this girl to call me bruh. No, father. You can't just adopt random children you find on the street. You can't just adopt random children. That's not allowed. What am I doing? Ever since meeting this girl, I was completely off my game. Just calm down. Nothing I can do, I guess. Also, thank you for the head pat. Nothing I can do, I guess. Rika-chama never listens even if you say no. Come on, hop on in. Come on now, Rika-chama too. The old man descended from the driver's seat and opened up the sliding door of the van, which had Onigafuji Alliance Town Council stenciled on the side. Rika-chan brushed me aside and dove into the seat and began bouncing around right away. It seems like she was thoroughly enjoying the bouncy springs. Come on now, Rika-chama. If you're like that, our guests can't sit down. Hey, Rika-chama. Girls are nice. I wonder if my child will play around like this too. Your child that's probably gonna die. I know I shouldn't say that. I feel like his child is gonna die. I don't want to be... I'm just saying. Alright. Some of you guys, this might be your first rodeo with the Higurashi game, but just things tend to start out pretty peaceful and then they take a pretty dark turn really quickly. So, all I'm saying is, I think you should emotionally prepare yourself for something happening to his wife, and to his child, and to him, and probably to Rika too. It was written in that guide to raising a child that you shouldn't dote on them. Yes. Kids are kids. If you don't raise them strictly without spoiling them. I mean, it's okay to spoil a kid once in a while, right? Nipa. I'm definitely going to be a terrible father. It was decided that I would be a doting parent before my child was even born. Well then, sure. I'll show you around some places that I think look nice. Have you eaten lunch yet? Emotions prepared. Yeah, you better prepare your emotions. I had a light meal at the hotel. Is that so? Well then, let's get going. We're setting off on a tour of Hinamizawa. Yay! Is it all right if I call you Rika-chan? Sure. My name is Rika Furude. I can already do additions into the 10th digit. Oh, is that true? That's amazing. I don't count on my fingers. I can do it all on my head. She's so cute. The way she insisted upon that was just too cute. At some point, the nervousness I had about being alone in enemy territory had evaporated, like it was never there at all. I had to be at least a little thankful I met this girl. Well then, let's get going. Time for Hinamizawa nature watching. The old man stepped on the gas with a great deal of gusto. Why does she look so upset? Oh. That's cute. He's poking her little head in the corner is really cute. The background art is also very nice too. Very nicely drawn. The old man, who was apparently named Makino, was he the same Makino that was listed as the auditor of the Onigafuji Guardians? Showed me around places that were all breathtaking. Even though I wasn't really here for sightseeing, I couldn't help but be impressed. First of all, this was different from the simple scenery of the city. The scenery of a charming village like this, no matter how mundane it seemed to the villagers, had a tranquil appeal to it. At first I was only releasing the shutter as part of my tourist act, but midway through I found myself taking pictures out of pure interest. Tourist traps had their own unique allure to them, but there's nothing like that here. I was especially captivated by the unspoiled nature of the place. If there wasn't that whole uproar over the dam, I'd want to bring Yuki here with me some other time. I wanted her to breathe in this fresh air, as well as show her this rejuvenating, verdant scenery. He's always thinking about his wife, huh? Every time he sees something, he's always like connecting it to his wife and to his child. Which is, I think that's a nice detail. It shows how much he cares about them. Is something like that interesting? You're a strange person, Akasaka. No, these cylindrical mailboxes are rare nowadays. They have a certain nostalgic air about them. You wouldn't happen to think they're elegant, would you? Is Hinamizawa fun? Yeah, it's fun. Once she's discharged from the hospital, I'd like to bring my wife here at least once. With the child that would be born by that time. Right now she's in the hospital waiting to give birth. She's due any day now. It'd be nice if they were a cute girl like you. Sure, it seems like congratulations are soon to be in order. Still, that's not good. To leave your wife behind and play around in a place like this? Uh-oh. I was momentarily at a loss for words. It was exactly how Makino said. There was no good reason for a man who was waiting for his wife to give birth to be playing around idly like this. Did I slip up? Well. We had already planned this trip to Hinamizawa a long time ago. My wife's family is with her, so it's alright. If you had this planned so far in advance, then how come you didn't make the sign-up deadline for the nature watching? Uh-oh. If you did, you would have been toured around on a nice bus instead of being cramped up in here. It didn't seem as if Makino was actually digging for anything. But if this conversation continued any longer, I had put some unexpected holes in my cover. I halted the conversation by pretending to take another picture. Well then, for our last stop, I'd like to take you to the place with the best view. It was slightly before evening. The sun was still burning brightly, but a cool breeze had begun to mix itself into the air. Momo is sleepy, so sleepy. Have a good night. Sleep well, Momo. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for the head pat. Sweet dreams. It seems my exploration of Hinamizawa with Rika-chan was just about done. Hello. Mermaids, thank you for becoming a pack rabbit. Welcome in. The place with the best view? Well, Rika-chama, where else could it be? Where else could it be but the view from the shrine? Aw, thank you. Thank you, Momo. That means a lot. Sleep well. Hearing that, Rika-chan smiled even more. Hello. Hi, Saint Poetex. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good night. Well then, I'll introduce you to my home. That's the saga. Huh? By Rika-chan's home, you mean... the shrine. Furude Shrine. There's an observation platform. You can see some real pretty scenery. Furude Shrine. The girl who called Furude Shrine her home, Rika. If I remember correctly, her full name was Rika Furude. And Furude was, that's right, one of the three families. Even if the Sonosaki family is said to hold all the actual power, it was still one of the old houses that held some authority. No, more important than that right now was Furude Shrine. If I remembered correctly, Oishi had told me. Within the grounds of the Furude Shrine were the offices of the Onikafuji Guardian. And since the land around Furude shrines were private property, the police couldn't set foot there heedlessly. Furude Shrine, where even Oishi couldn't simply set foot into. The main base of operations for the Onikafuji Guardians. I'd be given the unexpected opportunity to enter there. I couldn't have asked for more. I'm looking forward to it. Don't be suspicious. Please, if you would. Well then, let's get there quick. The weather seems to be getting a little iffy. The sky had suddenly become overcast. Overcast? That's a clear blue sky right there. It wouldn't be odd if it started raining soon. The cicadas were trying to finish their daily allotment of chirps before the evening cried out even more fervently. The van stopped in the shrine's parking lot. Also, there were numerous other vans with loudspeakers mounted on top of them to act as makeshift propaganda vehicles. On the side of each vehicle was scrawled, "The dam project must be demolished. Defend our homeland to the last. No Orishiro-sama's anger." Or a slogan to a similar kind. They gave the feeling that even without using the loudspeakers, there was enough to overwhelm any onlookers. Vertical banners were erected in various places. The contexts of those banners were very similar. Where did I put yeah, about the multi-chat? One seems to be chatting on YouTube, but just in case. I feel bad. There are all objections against the dam or crude insults towards the government. There are horizontal banners, plate cards, and so on and so forth. They proclaimed without a doubt that this was the headquarters of the Onikafuji Guardians. For Rika-chan, however, this hectic place was also her home. We've arrived. I'm home. Rika-chan crawled over my lap and exited the vehicle first. Makino had noticed that I was looking at the protest banners. The shrine also offices the anti-dam movement. For you, this probably brings back memories of the anti-security treaty conflicts back in the day. Student movements against government policies, movements that bordered on terrorist activities, were at the time commonplace. If only in order to garner global attention. Students holding out in lectures halls, brawling with the riot squads that charged in. It was an age where wasting one's youth was widely considered a road to glory. It was slightly before my time. I'm not really an activist or anything. I studied without incident and graduated without incident. I don't really agree with the violence or occupations they use to protest the government's activities. Oh, you have quite the nice opinion there. If you have an opinion on a policy, vote for the candidate who shares your view, or enter the political world yourself and assert your beliefs in a lawful manner. It's not always that simple, though. That is the foundation of democracy. I don't think that's something you should challenge with violence. For a youngin, you have some fine beliefs. I saw that feeling of respect reflected in Makino's gaze. Hello, King Lasher, hi. Thank you for the oh, not Lasher, Slasher. Hi, thank you for the first time chat, welcome. At that moment, something tugged at my sleeve. I have no idea what Akasaka is saying. Saying that, feeling like she was the only one who didn't understand the conversation, had a look of Rika-chan feeling like she was the only one who didn't understand the conversation, had a look of displeasure on her face. That expression was so charming that I had to keep myself from grinning like an idiot. It often said that a father wants to spoil his daughter rotten. It's often said that a father wants to spoil his daughter rotten. I think I understood that feeling very well. Sorry. It was a little hard for Rika-chan to understand, wasn't it? Japan is a peaceful country, so you have to argue your point in a peaceful manner. You shouldn't resort to violence, in other words. No matter how much I explained, the girl who was just boasting about being able to carry digits over when adding things probably couldn't understand. Probably wasn't something to talk about in front of Rika-chan anyway. So then, Akasaka, how do you think we should keep our village from being flooded by the dam? Even if I regretted my careless words, it was too late now. Here I was, at the main headquarters of an organization, telling them that their way of doing things was illegal. Preaching that violence was not the answer. A complicated feeling that mixed itself with the respect of Makino's gaze. That was when I finally realized. It wasn't that simple. There wasn't a soul who would argue that what I was saying wasn't incorrect. Using violence to get one's way was something everybody knew you shouldn't be proud of. However, right now, Hinamizawa was in a predicament that couldn't be overcome with peaceful means alone. The legality of the Hinamizawa Dam project, through the efforts of various propaganda campaigns enacted by the Onikafuji Guardians, was being called into question. If they further strengthened their campaign, they might be able to suspend or change their construction plans. But that was, at most, just a possibility. If the government proceeded with the construction as planned, it wouldn't be long before this place was at the bottom of a lake. If it wasn't... Nipa... Hi, Vempus. Nipa... How are you? If it wasn't for the unrestrained resistance of the residents of Hinamizawa, this place might have already been underwater. We can't live anywhere else other than here. We can't live in the city. The words of this remarkably young girl were all too accurate, carrying with them the screams of the hearts and minds of the residents of Hinamizawa. Of course, there was nothing I could say to respond to that. Good night, Ko. I'll be here to sleep. Thanks for helping me. Good night, Radio. Sleep well. I could only respond to Makino and Rika-chan's heavy words with silence. You woke up and you're chillin'? Well, you've come to the right place. We are also chilling. I'm sorry. This isn't a problem that an outsider could should lightly just poke their nose into, is it? I apologize. Unsure of how to reply for a while, I could only laugh pointlessly. It's nothing that It's nothing that concerns guests that make their home somewhere else. If you enjoy it here, please tell your friends that Hinamizawa is a wonderful place. Please. If word spreads to dozens, maybe even hundreds of people, then that ridiculous plan to submerge this place at the foot of a dam will eventually fall apart. He followed that with a smile that said, "Please don't think much of it." Makino letting me not worry was such worry that much was really was a stroke of good fortune. Becoming infatuated with the idea of making friends with a little girl that had made me completely forget my apprehension at being in enemy territory. Being reminded of this right before I was going to step foot into their headquarters might have been a good thing. If we had this exchange in the middle of their office, if there was a short-tempered youth there, they might have come at me. Thinking about how extreme they were, in the worst case, my life could have been in danger. It seemed that I looked quite despondent at that moment. Makino, thinking he had said something wrong, became flustered trying to think of a way to improve my mood. I was a bit careless just now. I'm very sorry. No, don't worry too much about it. The sights she showed me around the village were all beautiful, wonderful places. I really do want to come here one more time. If this beautiful village is going to be submerged at the bottom of a lake, I can understand why you would fight so desperately. I had somehow managed to use my despondent look to change the topic in my favor. After a bit, Makino had returned to his usual high spirits. It seemed he believed I completely sympathized with his point of view. Now, let's leave that talk for now. There's a place around here with a really great view. Let's go, Akasaka. Rika-chan, seemingly happy to be free from all the boring and glooming adult talk, bounded up the stone steps. There was no real need to run, but in order to catch up with her, I also darted up the steps. Have I played Planetarian Reverie of a Little Planet? I have not. It seems like an interesting game, though. What is it about? Shit, it's a beautiful VN. Oh, well, if it's a visual novel, I'll definitely check it out. Add that to the long list of visual novels we need to finish. There are several tents belonging to the town council erected on the shrine ground. Inside the tents were several folding tables and chairs, and a number of the older town council members were livening things up in chit-chat. They weren't saying anything incendiary like, the dam project must be destroyed. It was just some relaxed idle chat between local geezers. The normal sort of calming scenery. An ad break is gonna start, so I'm gonna take a quick water break. I will be right back. Put on some rain sounds for everybody to listen to while I'm gone. Oh! Hi! Oh no, the ad. Oh my god! Oh my god, that sucks. That timing though. Anyway, thank you so much for the raid. OZV raid, hi. Sorry about the ads. Welcome in, raiders. My name's Koala Amai. I'm a VTuber ASMR artist. I'm currently working on branding into a dream delivery bunny. That's in the works. But yes, hello. I hope if you guys need to raid and run, I totally understand, and I hope you guys have a good day. So very cute, yeah. What kind of deliveries? Well, I like to call like my ASMRs because like I'm an ASMR artist, and ASMR is like a big part of like my VTuber activities. So I like to say that doing ASMR is like delivering dreams to people. I thought that was a cute idea. Yeah. Um. Yeah. 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 Currently in the process of writing that. Oh, thank you for the follow. But yeah. Um. I'm really looking forward to building that. Slowly but surely we'll get there. Yeah, thank you all for the raid. Um, you have to raid and run. Mom duties, I hope to catch you on one of your streams soon. Can't wait to have dreams to love. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a really good night. Thank you for sharing your community with me. Alright. Now that that's over with, I will take a quick water break. I'll be right back. I'll play some rain sounds while I'm gone. For arson? Hey! What is it with people and fucking setting fires while the streamer is gone? Anyway, I'll be right back. You're an arsonist? Apparently the pack rabbits are too. I guess a little bit of arson once in a while isn't a problem. At the entrance of a shed that looked like a meeting place, there was a large sign erected. Onigafuchi Guardian's headquarters, written in bold brushstrokes. That was their base of operations. To be honest, it was a bit of a letdown. If you asked what I had been imagining, this was a bit embarrassing, but I have thought it would be something much more dramatic, with barbed wire fences and barricades. My first impression of this place, though, was completely different from that. I'm gonna lower the rain sounds. A little loud. It looked like a simple backwater town hall. It didn't look like anything other than exactly that. The old folks who were chatting had noticed Rika-chan's presence. Well, isn't it Rika-chama? It's time for little kids to head home. This is my home. The old folks guffawed since he wasn't wrong. From that exchange, I could tell Rika that this Rika Furude girl was loved by everybody. Makino-san, who's that? The tourist who phoned? That's right. This is the mayor of Hinamizawa, Mayor Kimiyoshi. But he smiled brightly, but there's no mistaking he would be scary if he got angry. By the looks of things, this old man was the president of the Onigafuchi Guardians. Oh, whoops. Welcome to Hinamizawa. What do you think? It's a quiet and relaxing place, isn't it? Yeah. I was able to appreciate a multitude of beautiful places throughout the whole day. I'm thankful for being granted this rare opportunity. Even though you're one of those youngins, you're quite a gentleman. Kichiro? I want to show Akasaka a cool place. Thinking that the formalities between myself and the mayor had gone on for too long, Rika-chan butted into the conversation. We were to call the mayor by his first name. I felt it was a little strange, but none of the villagers seemed to mind. The girl of the Furude household, one of the 3 families. She was probably different than the average villager. Akasaka, over here. Rika-chan tugged at my sleeve. Not resisting, I allowed myself to be pulled over. And waiting for me was a magnificent view. Oh, pretty. This is amazing. Bruh. What it is? It is. It's pretty. It was an observation deck that looks down on the village. Oh, you're saying that about the view? It was so pretty you said bruh. They, knowing that this was the best view in the entire village, kept quiet as I stood there awestruck. I was holding a camera, but I had completely forgotten to even glance through the viewfinder. This view, no matter what kind of film it was printed on, wouldn't be able to show it. It wouldn't be able to show everything. If there was a way to explain it, it would only be that I would be able to put into words. It was just such a breathtakingly spectacular view that I struggled to find a comparison. For a while, I was left awestruck. I could only stand there and wonder. A cool breeze helped abate the heat rushing through my body. That comfortable sensation also left me speechless. Been listening while drawing? I hope I was nice background noise. Rika-chan, who had been holding onto my sleeve the entire time, spoke. This is my favorite spot. As she said that, she showed me another adorable smile. The smile seemed very fleeting. If you ask why, it's because the view from her favorite spot would eventually be submerged under the deep green waters of the dam reservoir. I just can't believe that this village is gonna end up at the bottom of a lake. I said it so quietly that only Rika-chan could hear it. I regretted it as soon as I did. For those words were all too cruel. However, Rika-chan didn't seem to didn't let them cast a cloud on her expression. In fact, she replied with a smile. It won't sink. The dam project will definitely go away. was just like a little girl to say something like that. And there was no basis for her saying so. It was just her wish. Akasaka, do you think this village will be submerged? It's not that I wanted to be. I knew how important the dam was. I knew that it was necessary. I just didn't want to recognize the sacrifices that would be made. I agreed with the dam project in general, but I couldn't agree with some of the details. But if it meant that this girl's beloved scenery would be taken away from her, I might be able to object to dam. I might be able to ignore the interests of the nation, the development of Japan, all for the sake of one girl's smile. I'm not really much of a humanist, but how sentimental of me. It won't be submerged, because the dam project will soon go away. My words weren't just hopes and dreams, but were seasoned with a hint of resolve, as if she was talking about an unchangeably predetermined outcome. As surely as the sun rising in the east, it'll be gone soon? Uh-oh. I don't know. Wanting to ask her why she believed that, I turned around. Yes, it'll be gone. What makes you say that? Well, you see... She seemed to want to answer, but as though unable to find the right words, she swallowed back what she was about to say. Regardless of what Akasaka does, the dam project will end this year. Oh, does she know that I'm from the government? Oh, how did she know? It's already been decided. That was a lie. If something like that had already been decided, then the Oganifukafuji Guardians would have no reason to continue existing. From my point of view, it was like they were doing nothing more than throwing themselves into an endless battle. If they knew the dam project was cancelled, it would feel much more relaxed around here. This village, though, could hardly be called relaxed. For evidence of that, I just had to remember how charged the atmosphere was at the checkpoint or at the bus stop. The villagers, with their misplaced resolve, were still fighting. And this girl, even knowing the villagers' grim resolve, had already declared their victory. The villagers throwing themselves into this endless war, and this optimistic girl who said that they had already won. That contrast was somehow strange. Why do you think that? If you know something that makes you that confident, could you tell me? Rika-chan stayed silent for a while, seemingly choosing what to say. Because? She looked like she was lost on whether she should continue or not. As if she was troubled on whether it was okay for her to say it. That kind of expression. It's already been decided. There's no other way to say it. Sir Chuck, thank you. It's already been decided, huh? Is it? It really is just like a little girl to say something like that. I couldn't believe it was actually true. She was the only one saying such things with such confidence. My real mission, that I had forgotten about during this fun-filled day, resurfaced at the back of my mind. The kidnapping of the minister's grandson. that the Onigafuchi guardians kidnapped the minister's grandson and already succeeded in negotiating the cancellation of the dam project? Did Kimiyoshi really already know that and was just playing dumb? Was that what this girl was actually telling me? Akasaka. The girl called out my name suddenly. What is it? Uh-oh. Go back to Tokyo. Huh? I wasn't only surprised at the sudden command. Ever since I came to this village, I never once mentioned I was from Tokyo. Well, based on my accent, you might have been able to guess where I was from. What was I getting so worked up over? It was probably the sudden and complete change in her demeanor. You should definitely go back to Tokyo right away. If not, you will woefully regret it. Uh-oh. The girl had been holding my sleeve the entire time. She'd been tugging my sleeve since hurriedly dragging me over to show me this wonderful view. But this was the adorable Rika-chan who I had spent the entire day with. There was no way she'd be replaced with a doppelganger when I wasn't looking. She had been holding onto my sleeve this entire time. But somehow this girl was someone other than Rika-chan. She looked like Rika-chan, but she wasn't. She was some girl I had never met before. This girl told me in an indifferent voice that I would eventually regret coming to this village from the bottom of my heart. That'd be an incredibly pathetic thing to say. So I thought I'd warn you right now. Why would I come to regret it? Stop whining. I couldn't believe what I was hearing as such cold words came from Rika-chan's mouth. I just couldn't believe it. Was somebody impersonating her using ventriloquism or something? Thinking that, I just wanted to take a look around, but the girl's gaze had me pinned down, making me unable to move. When you tried crossing the road when the "Don't Walk" sign was up, did your parents finish explaining why it was dangerous before pulling you back to the sidewalk? They pulled you back right away, wouldn't they? They pulled you back before explaining why it was dangerous, wouldn't they? In other words, it's something like that. The girl I had spent time with, Rika Furude, would not speak like that. She would speak with a cuteness befitting of her age, with brief childish remarks expressing her emotions honestly. She definitely wouldn't speak with such pointed words. I've warned you. Don't get the wrong idea. It's not like I'm saying this because I hate you. You don't need to tell someone who's better off dead that they're in danger. Who are you? You're not Rika-chan. As soon as I accused her of not being Rika-chan, she let out a strange, quiet giggle. It was a laugh not befitting a child of her age. It was like she was possessed by something. Her change was just that, total and complete. Was Rika-chan being attacked by some terrifying phenomenon? That occult idea came to my mind without any sort of hesitation. Rika-chan is acting strange, somebody help. Thinking I'd yelled that, I turned to where the mayor was. I immediately realized that he was looking at us with a smile. Uh-oh. That's right, to him, it looked like nothing more than me and Rika-chan fooling around. She's like possessed? Yeah, something like that. He didn't notice that there was something terrifying happening to her. What the fuck? Akasaka is such a coward. Complete 180. The girl had obviously grasped that I was afraid. Noticing that and calling me a coward, she laughed again. That cackling girl approaching me in a strange manner while laughing, lost her balance and fell flat on her face. Rika-chan fell down. It was a little while before I would have extended a hand to help her without hesitation. But now, extending a hand to this ominous girl who looked like Rika-chan wasn't, required a bit more courage than I had at the moment. Meep. The girl cried out thus. She then squirmed upright and dusted herself off. Afterwards, she looked around restlessly with a blank expression crept across her face. You've got to be kidding me. Was she making fun of me? That way of acting. It was as though after being possessed by something, she had lost her memories of what happened. You're joking, right? Rika-chan? Meep. I don't know if Rika-chan had heard me or not. She just cried out like that, as if questioning herself. Hey, mister. Rika-chan too. Tea's ready. There's some snacks too, so please come and have some. An old lady wearing a smock was waving energetically from the entrance of the office. Hearing that there were snacks, Rika-chan's expression changed. Yay! A carefree smile. It was a familiar smile, the one that belonged to the embodiment of my ideal daughter. Any hint of the creepy girl that was just there, spouting sinister words, had vanished. Come on, Rika-chan. Wash your hands first. There aren't any manju here for dirty hands. I'll wash them real good. Meep. Rika-chan responded with vigor, running off to the washing station that was along the side of the office. She stopped halfway, turning to call to me. If Akasaka doesn't hurry up, I'll eat his share of manju too. They're steaming fresh. People who don't wash their hands aren't allowed to eat any manju. No matter how you looked at it, yep, that was Rika-chan. Those words and the way she said them, no matter how you heard them, they were definitely Rika-chan's. Come on now, mister. You're the adult here, so show her how it's done. The old lady urged me to wash my hands. Without any resistance, I lined up beside Rika-chan at the wash station. Splish splash. I stared at Rika-chan, intent on washing her hands properly, like she had probably learned at school. Meep? Did I do something wrong? By wrong, you mean how I'm washing my hands? I only got 4 gold stickers for it, as opposed to 5. I'm probably bad at washing my hands. You're not doing anything wrong. I didn't get 5 gold stars, I only got 4. If you're washing them that carefully, that's more than enough. But it's not Akasaka. If you don't use a brush and clean out the dirt underneath your fingernails, you won't get a gold sticker. Huh. Rika-chan, you're very diligent. That's something to be proud of. Nipa, I was praised by Akasaka. I wonder. So, like, which Rika is the real one? Was the Rika that we just saw the real one, or is this one the real one? Also, lover boy, thank you for becoming a pack rabbit. It was Rika-chan. There was no trace of that girl from before. Exactly what was that sinister girl? Rika-chan, what was the meaning of what happened just now? Just now you told me to go back to Tokyo, didn't you? Did I say that? Oh, I was at a loss for words. She didn't remember what the girl just now had said. Like I would ever believe something as occult as that would happen. Like I could ever believe that Rika-chan could be possessed by that strange girl and say those creepy things. Rika-chan, you definitely said that. Meep. Her expression told me that. Despite saying so, she had no idea. She wasn't playing dumb, she actually didn't know. Exactly. What was that just now? Just as Rika-chan had, I let out a look of confusion creep across my face. The both of us, looking like we had no idea what was going on, must have certainly been a humorous sight to behold. While partaking of tea and snacks, I was shown a propaganda film shot by the Guardians that highlighted their resistance efforts. Older folks talked passionately on how long and grueling the fight against the dam was, but they fell on deaf ears. I was transfixed by Rika-chan, who had heard these stories countless times before, and was nodding off. Eventually, Rika-chan noticed I was staring at her, and smiled as she rubbed her eyes. That smile was Rika-chan's after all. There was no hint of that sinister shadow. After that, my unreasonable fear of Rika-chan lessened with the passing of time. But I could by no means forget what had happened. It eventually grew dark. The mayor said that they had prepared dinner, but I said I would come again tomorrow and took my leave. Your voice is making me sleepy, very calming. I'm glad. I hope I can help you, like, relax, fall asleep. That's my goal with these streams. I had to return to the hotel and file my regular report with the section chief. I see. Well then, please come again tomorrow. If you phone, we'll send somebody to pick you up right away. Very calming, but we got you into the story too? Yeah, really? Well, that makes me happy. I really like the Higurashi series. I wanted to share it with people. I appreciate your hospitality. You'll probably come again, and I'll probably come again and enjoy myself tomorrow. I know some people might not read a visual novel themselves, but they'll be happy to like listen to somebody read it to them. You know, kind of like how people like prefer audiobooks instead of reading it themselves. Please do. It seems that Rika-chan has taken a pretty big liking to you. Akasaka, are you coming again tomorrow? After I finish 5th period, you could come around 3 o'clock. If you could come, I finish after 5th period. So if you could come at around 3 o'clock, that would make me happy. Please come again. That pure smile urged me to do so. Played a few VNs, most are voice acted. That is true. But some of them are voice acted in Japanese, so like, If you can't understand Japanese, then it's not really the same, huh? There wasn't a trace of that evil aura. Depending on what happened next. Yeah. Depending on what happened next, that all ended up as nothing other than that. All that might end up as nothing other than my hallucination. I think he needs to call his wife. I feel, because he said, like, go back to Tokyo, something bad will happen if you don't go back. I think he should go back and check on his wife. Thinking about it logically, yeah. Because, something that he said, like, it would be something you regret. I think something happening to his wife and unborn child would be something that he would regret deeply. Yeah, in way too late to understand the story. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it was ominous. It was. If the daughter of the Furude household, one of the three families, had taken a liking to me, then this was a strong foothold for my investigation from here on out. It was like a free ticket for a reason to visit Hinamizawa. If only I could treat that little incident as a figment of my imagination, then having this girl who was the embodiment of my ideal daughter grow attached to me wasn't bad either. I had suddenly dove into the belly of the Onikafuji Guardians, and had the mayor as well as other important members of the alliance welcome me with open arms. This was a great turn of events. However, I still felt uneasy. Getting back to the hotel, I forced down an almost painfully cold beer until I could clear my mind. The shock from that incomprehensibly strange incident continued to torment me. Call your wife! Call your wife! I don't like this. Strange he hasn't. But, okay. So, the thing is, but like, why, what like baffles me is why they had to send the guy who's had like a pregnant wife in the hospital to do like an undercover mission. Like, they couldn't have found someone else to do that. Like, no, it has to be him. It has to be the guy whose wife is in the hospital and is due to give birth any day now. That's the guy who we're gonna send. Like, come on. Alright. We'll read the tips and then we shall end the stream. Kind of makes me believe that that's why something bad might happen to her for the sake of the story. Yeah, probably. I mean, they kind of explained why, but like, maybe they're thinking he'll finish the job faster to get back home. Maybe. Because he has like the incentive. Oh, wait, no. Because, alright, wait, no. I remember why. Okay, so you guys probably weren't here for the reading of chapter 1, but basically a political figure's grandson was kidnapped, and they're investigating any like terrorist groups to figure out who did it, because it's obviously politically motivated. And yeah, they sent him here because originally they thought that they were just like a small like group protesting the dam project, and they didn't think that they would do it. So I think they sent him there because they thought it would be quicker than it was, but he actually has incentive to. When he got there, he found out that they were a lot more radical than he anticipated, so now he actually has to investigate to make sure it's not them. But it might be them. And yeah. Which sucks for him. I think they probably gave him this assignment because they thought it would probably be like he'd be in and out, but no. Yeah. They thought it would be a simple investigation. Turns out it's a great. Yeah, exactly. Which is extremely unfortunate for him. The sound of the car grew closer, swallowed by the sound of it braking as the engine cut out. At that moment, is up until... Oh wait, I think this is the perspective of the child that was kidnapped, I think. At the moment, his up till now lackadaisical footsteps grew decisive as the man in the room dashed up to the wall beside the window and carefully peered inside. Oh, outside. This was his comrade's car. Even so, he didn't relax his guard. Eventually, the sound of the footsteps approached the door. Thump, thump, thump. It was the passcode. I'm back. Open the door already. Ugh, you must be tired. I'm opening it now. After the locks were undone and the door opened, a man appeared, his arms laden with plastic grocery bags. The bags in his hands had Steven Smart written on them, with bread and milk and cartons able to be glimpsed within. The contents of those bags were then spread out over a sheet on the floor. I brought some cup noodles, so go boil some water. What's the kid doing? He's been sleeping the entire time. Thank God he's not causing any trouble. He did struggle a bit when he was about to shit himself. Don't let him crap his pants. It'd be sick if it started smelling like an outhouse in here. Yeah, I know. I mean, he's like... Check the gag every now and then. We wouldn't want that to get loose, so keep it tight. But not so tight that he stops breathing. Yeah, you probably don't want to kill your hostage. that kind of defeats the purpose of yeah, it's a grandson, yeah. That kind of defeats the purpose of taking a hostage if the hostage dies. Yeah. Also, Feather Dust, thanks for the headbutt. I said I know. Huh? Didn't I ask you to pick up another can of gas for the portable stove? We're out. You never asked for it, you idiot. Seriously? Come on, work. Damn it. He rattled the portable stove as he struggled to get it to light. Seeing that, the man who went to get supplies let out a deep sigh, and with a bat first glance at the sight, began to walk to the corner of the room. The kidnapped boy was sprawled out on a sheet that was spread on the floor. Boy, you doing okay? Is that a serious question? He's been kidnapped. I don't think he is. Of course, the man didn't assume the kid was able to hear that question. It was because the boy's ears were plugged, with his eyes and ears thoroughly covered by packaging tape. They may be kidnappers. But they have standards. Give big kisses. Oh, giving kisses is my job. Mwah. And normally you have to pay 500 channel points for that, but I gave that for free. Yeah. Also his mouth was gagged with a thin, twisted up towel. That just sounds uncomfortable. Because of that, the boy was unable to use his mouth properly. His cheeks sticky with his own saliva. Of course, that wasn't the only reason. Both arms were tied tightly behind his back with a leather belt. You seem to be doing okay. At least you're not gonna die. describes how, like, horribly uncomfortable he is. Yeah, you're okay. If your grandma... You'll be fine. If your grandpa wanted to play tough, he might have had to lop off an ear. It'd be great if we don't have to do that. If the main family says, though... If the main family says we do, though, tough luck. I can't imagine what kind of cruel things they'd have us do. That family says not one scratch on him, though. But it seems like... So it seems to be going well for the time being. The minister is discreetly withdrawing the dam project. The Hinamizawa Dam is indefinitely postponed. Yeah, okay. So it was them. I wonder when we're letting the boy go. I just want to be done with this already. The main family seem to be gauging the timing. I don't know when it'll be, but probably soon. Isn't that great, kid? You'll be let go real soon. The men didn't know if their voices were heard by the boy. For him, there was nothing he could do but continue to sleep to escape his harsh reality. More importantly, what are we gonna do about the gas? Can we eat the cup noodles? We can't eat the cup noodles raw. I really hope there's not an explosion. I feel like they're setting this up for like a gas explosion. And that would be really bad. If we're out of gas, say something, jeez. Oh no. I feel like they're setting... Alright. Why I like rainy days. The weather forecast had predicted that it wouldn't rain at all this entire week. It's not that I hate sunny days or anything. When every day is the same, unchanging sunny weather, however, everybody could long for a rain cloud or two. If it's simply clear skies for a week, a month, anybody would long for a rain cloud or two. The weather specialist said that they had carefully scrutinized a large quantity of past data, so it wouldn't be so likely for the forecast to be wrong. I knew that much. I love rainy days too, yeah. But even then, there was occasionally a day where I was hoping it would be wrong, as I stared up into the clear blue sky. Was I being mischievous in hoping so? I waited and waited, feeling almost suffocated by the boring blue sky, undisturbed by a single cloud. If you could die from that suffocating feeling, the population of Earth probably wouldn't have increased to this point. In other words, the only person who was being suffocated by this was me. And so, I welcomed the summer evenings where not even the weather forecast could predict a sudden shower. If I were to explain it like this, would you understand a bit more how I feel? Let's say that tonight's dinner is going to be curry rice. But when you're called down to the dinner table, what was waiting you was instead eggplant and bell pepper stir fry. This is just on your mother's whim, by the way. I would be delighted by such whimsy. I don't really like eggplants or bell peppers, but still, I would be delighted. The fact that the pre-established routine of curry rice had been broken would be amusing. If tonight was repeated 100 times, and 100 times you had to eat curry rice, yet for just this one night, it was changed to an eggplant and bell pepper stir fry, there's no way you could enjoy that chance happening. I hate pre-established routines. I really hate when things are all decided beforehand. I have no love for boredom. I always get my hopes up and say that something today will be different from yesterday, no matter how trivial. It's been decided that this entire week starting today was going to be clear skies. The weather forecast decided upon it, so the god of weather must feel obligated to do so. But who's to say that a rain cloud might not just show up one day on a whim? That's something nobody can say for sure. But because that thought remains in this world, a creature such as myself can continue living without being suffocated. Tomorrow will probably be a hot and clear day. However, I'm the only one who knows that predetermined fate. Even without a slim 1%, even with but a slim 1% chance, sometimes changes. Yeah, very philosophical. Hoping for that 1%, I hung upside down, and weather charms on my sunlit, F-strophes? In the end, I spent my days waiting for those unexpected things in life to happen. I pondered why I was hoping for it. Why was I hoping for a rain cloud? The answer was simple. I had my fill of clear skies. Then why was I hoping for a rain cloud? The answer is simple. The fact that it was going to be sunny tomorrow was boring. So why was I hoping for a rain cloud? In the end, it doesn't really matter whether it rains or shines tomorrow. Basically, it was just that the rain would water my heart, which was withered from boredom. That's why rather than a TV drama where the plot's already been decided, I prefer to look up at the sky. I wonder whose musings was that? Maybe it was Rika? Barley tea and black tea and a millstone. Your blood pressure has improved. For you to recover this quickly at your age I'm rather impressed. At this rate, you'll be kicking for a couple 100 years, Ororo-san. The young doctor in his medical coat said that as he undid the blood pressure cuff from the arm of the old woman tucked away on her futon. You're a very good physician, Dr. Ire. If a persistent old fart like me doesn't hurry up and die, I'll just be in the way of you young folk. Old Lady Oryo laughed faintly with a broad smile on her face. Then, turning towards the sliding door, she called out in a strong voice. Is Shimiko-san and Takeko-san there? Bring some tea for Dr. Ire. The sound of rushed footsteps from the hallway drew closer, until finally the door slid smoothly open. What it revealed was a young girl. It looked like the old lady's granddaughter. Shimiko-san's already left for the day. Do you need something? Mion, make some barley tea for Dr. Ire. Okay, got it. You want some too, Granny? Or would black tea be better? With lots of milk and sugar? I'll measure it out myself, so you don't have to put any in. Just bring the sugar jar and some milk when you bring the tea. KK. The girl named Mion, after giving a rather uninterested response to her taskmaster of a grandmother, returned to the hallway. Pour the doctor's tea in the cups for guests, and make sure you bring a coaster too. Also, make sure you dry the outside of the glass, okay? Yeah, you're such a fussy pants. A tired voice wafted in reply from down the hallway. The apathetic tone of the voice was far from unusual. The old lady let a wry smile slip across her face as she chided the girl. Hey, that girl just won't learn. Not think I ever scold her about sticks. No, no, Oreo-san, you don't have to say that. Mion-chan is doing her best in her own way, even though she's so young. Her mother was the same way. Couldn't teach her anything. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Pinterest. So her mother's mother must be exactly the same, no? The old lady burst out laughing. Her expression showed that she hadn't taken the comment the wrong way. Ouch. Dr. Yurei, I'm sorry, but could you open the doors for me? It seems there's a nice cool breeze outside. The cool chirping of the Higurashi, they said the name, at some point started leaking through the gap in the doorway. Yurei stood up and opened the door a bit. Name drop. They said the thing! A refreshing breeze pushed out the stale air that had built up from the room. It's gotten fairly hot during the day, but the evenings are still rather cool, aren't they? It's almost downright chilly last night. Yeah. Those types of mornings and evenings are another one of Hinamizawa's fine points. Yuri smiled with a smile as he returned to sit on the cushion beside the old lady. And then the two of them, for a while, soaked in the voices of the Higurashi. I'm going to try to live to 100. Until the business with the dam is proper finished, I ain't kicking the bucket just yet. To get the government to withdraw a decision they've already made is a fairly difficult thing to do. The way this country does things is like turning a millstone. A heavy one at that. A millstone? Don't you know? A millstone. Yuri quickly affirmed that of course he knew exactly what the old lady was talking about. For he knew full well that Oreo didn't like having her stories interrupted. This millstone, you see, can grind anything to a pulp. It's rather impressive. But you see, it doesn't turn that easy, because it's a rather heavy millstone. Lots of people have to work in unison to get it to even budge. It's that type of millstone. Yuri pursed his lips, listening exactly to what she was saying. Ah yes, bureaucracy, yeah. Pretty much. Eventually, Mion returned with the tea laid out on a tray. Seeing that Urio was talking and in a good mood, she quietly knelt down and laid out the sets for barley and black tea, careful not to interrupt. That's why when it gets going, it's not an easy thing to stop. It takes the most effort to move it right before it starts turning. Everybody hates that. So everybody keeps pushing it along without rest. You're talking about friction, right? I get what you're saying. So in other words, if there's some sort of mistake and the millstone suddenly stops turning, to get it turning again takes a great deal of power, more or less. Certainly, to get a project that's been suspended going again takes quite a lot of work. It's a millstone that isn't easily stopped, but once it's stopped, it'll never turn again. It's that kind of millstone. It'd be nice if there was a way to get that millstone to stop, wouldn't it? Yeah, like kidnapping a minister's grandchild. You know, I would probably get it to stop. I'd probably do it. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Yeah, you think I might be onto something? I'm thinking. Yeah. Just spitballing ideas. When Irie responded to that, Mion and the old lady suddenly sunk into silence. Irie, instinctively thinking he had said something rude, searched in a small panic for the words to correct himself. That silence wasn't the result of rude words. For what crept across Mion and the old lady's faces were contemptuous smiles. Ah, so they're the one who there it is, they're the one who orchestrated it. Hmm? Oh. The atmosphere surrounding Irie suddenly froze, leaving him flabbergasted. Thinking that the scornful smiles creeping across both their faces was the result of some mistake of his, he could only grow afraid. Why are you laughing, Grandma? It hadn't been very long at all since he was enveloped by silence. However, unable to stand it, Irie could only let out a weak laugh. Irie's laugh eventually spread to Mion and the old lady. No witnesses or loose ends. Not knowing exactly what they were laughing at, their laughter left a lingering chill. The only ones not laughing were the Higurashis, who continued their simple and unchanging chorus. Alright, that's it for chapter 2. Make sure we save. Okay. Close that for now. Alright. I guess we will raid out, and that was awesome, yes. Okay, also, this week, the schedule is a bit different because I wanted to stream today to make up for not streaming yesterday. Throw that more than you thought you would, but yeah. Going forward, we will be streaming. We'll continue like doing like readings of Higurashi on Fridays. Yeah. Tuesdays will just be like a regular ASMR stream, and Fridays we'll read Higurashi. And then on Wednesdays and Saturdays we'll do just gaming streams. Yes. That will be the schedule for the foreseeable future. So I'm probably gonna update the schedule in the Discord server. But yeah, I will. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys. What do you normally play? I like to play like cozy games, and currently we're doing a playthrough of Danganronpa. Yes. Very fun. I'll send you over to like another cozy-ish stream. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll send you over to another ASMR artist. Yes, very cozy, much murder. Yeah. But thank you all for hanging out with me today. I had a lot of fun. I will see you guys tomorrow, I think. I think I'm streaming tomorrow, we'll see. But yeah. Check in. Yeah. But yeah. Thank you for coming. I hope everybody sleeps well. Good night.